Hello and welcome to the other side of my yard. It is April 2024 and my jasmine vine is beautiful. It smells fantastic. My grapevine over here has a couple of bunches on it. Looking forward to that harvest. But over in the corner, my avocado is not doing so hot. Yes, it does look good down there, but does not look great up there. Last summer was brutal and it just toasted the entire plant. And my peach tree also is not looking so hot. Only about a quarter of the branches have leaves on them. Yes, there are some peaches coming in, but check that out. The birds and the ground squirrels are already getting to them, and I'm just kind of tired of dealing with them, so it's time to replace them. So then you might be wondering, what am I going to replace it with? This guy here. It is a Tropic Beauty Peach. So it should grow much taller. I'm going to practice my pruning skills to make sure it doesn't get too tall to where I can't reach the fruit, but should be a lot bigger than this Bonanza Peach, which is a dwarf. It's about 6.5 feet tall. And then as far as the avocado goes, I'm replacing it with a Pakistan mulberry, which also should get quite large, quite fast, produces a lot of delicious purple fruit. A lot of people complain about it being a mess, but frankly, with how many animals I've got around here, I'm not really concerned about the fruit lingering or staining or any of that sort of stuff. I expect between the animals and my family, we'll eat all of the fruit just fine. The other thing I learned about avocados, here in Arizona at least, is that you need to pamper them, especially during the first couple of years. So if you're wondering what all this PVC pipe is all about, it's because I built this elaborate shade structure. I had shade cloth covering this whole tree, and it did great its first 2 years in the ground. After 2 years, I figured, hey, it's probably pretty well established. I can take the shade off, but then we had the summer of 2023, and it just baked my plant. So rather than starting from scratch and having to baby it again, where I might not even get good fruit out of it, it's time to just give something else a try. And if you're wondering if there might be any life left in this peach, which was my thought, hey, can I salvage it? Maybe it's just having an off year or something like that. Well, if you look at these branches, the live ones will bend just fine. They're pretty flexible and they can be moved around. But over here on this side, if I go to bend one of these branches, it just snaps right off. That's an indication to me that all of these guys are just dead and broken beyond repair. So I think most of my tree is toast and it's time to just start fresh. All right, so my first step is going to be to just remove all of these branches to make it a lot easier to work around this tree. And just like that, I've cut off 5 of the 7 major branches that were on the tree. So I'm not great at math, whatever 2 out of 7 is, that's how much of the tree was still alive. The next step is to clear out all of that mulch, put it into one of these buckets so that I can reuse it when I plant the new peach tree. Mulch is an excellent way of keeping moisture in the ground, which is very important here in the desert. So I'm going to scrape away all of that wood mulch, put it in the bucket, and then we'll start digging. I've now taken all of the wood chips out of the circle around the tree. Next step is to remove these water pipes. So these go down quite a ways. It's a tool I've been using to get water deep into the roots, deep into the ground where the roots can grow deep, rather. So I'll come around and pull each of these out. Hopefully they come out fairly easily. Thankfully they do. And I did the same thing over here with the avocado. So we had a whole bunch of wood chips here, and those thankfully come out pretty easily. There's 1 and 2. All right, now we can try and uproot these guys and see how big of a hole we've got. I just completed 2 circles all the way around the peach tree, one on the very edge with a shovel, and then when that didn't seem to move the tree much, I moved in quite a bit closer, started cutting at the roots, ultimately had to get out my heavy-duty digging bar, but I did it. There's my peach tree, my Dwarf Bonanza, after I think 5-6 years, maybe a few more in the ground. Looks like we'll have plenty of room for the new peach tree. All right, now that I've got the plant out, spent some time getting all of these extra roots out. That was all buried in the dirt. So I spent some time tilling the soil, mixing it all up, pulling out those extra roots so that the new peach tree has some nice, good aerated soil without a bunch of lingering roots for competition. Now it's just time to dig the hole and put it in. One of the things I love about swapping out my plants is that it gives me a great look at the condition of my soil. When I've done this previously, I found out that my soil was too wet and it was muddy and I had been overwatering my plants. Thankfully, that's not the case here. This soil is just nice, rich, dark. It's moist, but not too wet. So here in the desert of southern Arizona, this is a rare sight, and it means that I think I've got a great spot to plant another tree and get some delicious peach fruit. I've now got the tree in the ground. I've made a little bit of a well going around the base. Gave it some good water last night. So the peach tree is good to go. I just need to put those pipes back in to give it some deep water. And now it's time to plant the Pakistan mulberry. Got it at about the right height that I need. So it's just time to take it out of the pot, put it in the ground, fill in the dirt, and then put its pipes back as well. Wood chips are in. The drip pipes are in. So hopefully this tree should be getting some nice deep water. And over here, I've got the mulberry in. Did the same process, made a well, filled it with water, gave it a good watering, filled it with wood chips, and now I'm coming back to give it one more good soak. Get all the wood chips nice and wet, see if we can start some of that bacteria growth in there. And yeah, check back later. I'll give an update on these plants to see how they're doing as they progress.